Today I would like to finish the cover of my Dried Gatherings junk journal. As you can see, it looks relatively boring and naked, so I want to change that in today's video. And for that I would like to find something for the spine, because I want to cover these ugly marks here, which came from gluing the fabric to the spine, and the threads from the binding came through here. So I want to do something to cover that up. And the other thing I would like to do is I would like to find something for this front cover here, using this here as an inspiration. This comes from a jeans, and I want to use this stitching here to make something interesting for the cover of this journal. If you are interested in that, and if you want to watch how I do that, then stay tuned. Hi there, this is Luisa Heinzel. Nice to see you here today. Thanks for joining me. So, as you can guess, this is not what I want to have for a junk journal cover. Of course, you could do a junk journal cover like this. Yeah, there's no problem with a cover like this. But if you look inside of the journal, you can guess that I want to have something on the outside that matches the inside. And I also want to have some of the colors that I have here in the inside on the outside of the cover as well. So if this is perhaps the first video that you see about this journal, let me give you some background information. I have made a digital paper collection that's called Dried Gatherings. It's the same name like this journal, and you can find that paper collection in my shop. The links to those items are down below in the description box. There's a total of 3 items available in this paper collection. There's Dried Gatherings Junk Journal Pages Volume 1 and Volume 2, and there's also a matching ephemera pack where you can get a lot of ephemera pieces that you can print out at home and turn them into your own, of course. And I also have made another video about this journal when it was in a starting stage. I will link that video down below for you as well, so that you can check that out and perhaps you can find some inspiration in that video as well. For today's idea, I have done something that I have never done before. I feel somehow like a broken record because I say that relatively often. But I have found this material here. This is a canvas material which you can use in your printer. And I'm actually really happy that I found this. And this was a happy accident, coincidence, or something like that. Especially in the German junk journal community, the people are talking about this material a lot, and they say, oh, that is so great. This material you can buy at a store called Action. So perhaps if you are somewhere where that shop is available, you can get this, or perhaps you already know this material. But for me, it was always like, I want to try that out. And also Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, she has this material and she has sent some, for example, cards and other pieces to me where she has printed on this material. And I was always like, oh my goodness, that looks so great. But I couldn't get it because the Action shop is actually approximately 1 hour away from me here. And it was always like, talk to Gary and say, let's make a little holiday, let's go shopping in Action. And every time when we went there, this was not available there. And now, guess what? A new Action shop has opened 10 minutes away from here. And that is just so awesome. So when they opened, I run there and I was a really lucky girl because I found this material. And as you can guess, I bought several of these pads. So if you don't have an Action, you can perhaps find this on Amazon or so. I think that this brand is called Creative Artist. I'm hoping that this is the brand. I'm not totally sure. But the cool thing about this is it feels like canvas and you can put it into your printer. And I'm totally new to this, so you will hear my honest opinion about this now. I have experimented a little bit and I thought, okay, how do I have to put that into my printer? Because the first thing that I saw was that this side of the paper is relatively smooth, and the other side, so let's say this is the front and this is the back. The back is like real canvas. Can you see this texture there? And I was not sure if, how I shall put that into my printer, because when I got pieces which already are printed, for example from Barbara, the texture was always relatively rough, and I was not sure if this is the side to print on or this, but I ended up with using this side, and I'm totally surprised about the quality and everything that came out of my printer. I'm always a little bit like careful when it comes to printing on materials that are not paper, because look, this is really, really flimsy. And when I had this in my hand and put that into the printer, I was like, okay, will my printer be able to take this, to grab it actually, and will it come out in one piece, or do I need a new printer tomorrow? And my printer was relatively expensive because it has some functions that make my life easier, yeah, and I'm always a little bit afraid of doing such things, but I'm totally surprised. And also the quality of this is really, really gorgeous. The colors come out a little bit different than on paper, but that is a normal thing. I mean, imagine you have different kinds of papers, then you get different results as well. Yeah, that's a normal thing. But let's compare the quality. And I think I have a page here, which is exactly this page here somewhere in the journal, so that we can compare that directly. So if I can find this here now, that would be really helpful. Where is it? It's here. Look. So we have to have several things in mind. This page in this journal is photo paper, matte photo paper, and this is the photo paper side of the paper. Yeah, that is a paper which has the photo surface on one side and normal copy paper on the other side. That means that the copy paper side always has like more muted colors, not so much contrast. The colors come out not so vibrant. You can already see that here, even if I have glued some things down here, you can see this here. It's not so vibrant than on the photo paper side. But you can see the same image from the printable here. Please ignore these dots here. These come from the other page I have stamped and embossed here. And you can also ignore this die cut here. Yeah, but the rest is the same. It's the same page. And I would say that this result is like a good copy paper result. And if you compare that, you would probably think that this could be copy paper as well if you don't look so close. And that is something that really surprised me, because that gives us another opportunity to use digital paper if we are able to print on other materials. Yeah, so that is why I'm telling you that. And if you perhaps want to consider getting such a material, then you can see which results you can get. The details on the photo paper are in some areas of the design really, really clear compared to this. So if you want to look at this here you can see the single pieces of this little like dandelion plant, and here, as you can see, it's way more abstract. It's not so detailed. Oh, my light is really bad here at the moment, I'm sorry. And also here, this is not so detailed like here you can see the single pieces of this little plant, but I think this is nice anyway, because I don't need so many details on such a material. If I know, oh, this is canvas, I don't need so many details. Do you know what I mean? And I also think it's interesting, if you want to make a junk journal, that you have these different results. If this was totally blurry and, if it was ugly or something, then I would think differently about that, of course. But when I have this, I mean, it's the same image, and because of the different results, you think, oh, I have two different things in my journal. Do you know what I mean? It's not exactly the same, and that makes it interesting, as long as the quality is good. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So what I want to do is, I want to take this sheet, or actually a piece of this sheet, and I want to start with this area here. As you can see, the threads from the binding came through here when I glued the jeans material to the spine and the rest. And because this is like glued very well and I rubbed over this with my finger and a bone folder, the threads come through here because the fabric is relatively thin. But that's no problem. I want to take a label, and I have already taken out 2 labels, but I think I have already made a decision as well, but I wanted to show you the different looks of this. So I have this a little bit bigger one, but I think this is too wide for this. I don't like when these things are too close to the edge of the spine. And then I found this one here, and I think that's better for several different reasons. On the first hand, it's smaller and it's not so wide, it's not so high, and I have something for here in my mind, so that the whole thing gets more balanced in the end, I would say. And this is gold, so I have some golden splatters inside of the journal, so I think that would match then relatively well as well. And I want to make something where I take some of this. This is a silk napkin. I hope that that is correct. I think so. And I want to tear a piece of this to get these like fibers here. And then I want to take this and layer that, and then perhaps sew around it so that, we have something like this. Perhaps. So let's try that. So let's first think about how big this thing has to be. So this white layer will be the bottom layer. So that means this has to be as big as these ugly things are high, so that I don't want to have it too big, but I want to cover this these marks here. I want to leave a little space here on the right and the left. Is that possible? Oh no. Oh, okay. I would say this looks relatively great already. And the next thing is I want to decide which part of this material I want to layer behind here. I think I'm going to use this edge here because I think that this the colors here are matching this better. But I want to try to fray the edges of this a little bit as well. So I'm trying to... Ooh, oh, that is easy. How easy is that? Oh my goodness. Oh, das geht ja easy peasy. Oh mein Gott. Oh, ich bin begeistert. Danke, Action. Ich bin begeistert. Das kann man total leicht hier abreißen. Das ist ja fantastisch. Guckt euch das mal. Look at this. This is absolutely fantastic. And that was so easy. I thought it would be really hard to tear that, but it was so easy. That is amazing. Just amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Action. So, then let's look how wide this can be. So, jetzt werde ich das hier abreißen in der... Oh, da geht das leicht. In der Breite, wie ich das da haben will. So, let's tear this here as well, so that the white layer is only a little bit bigger than this piece here. Oh my goodness, this is so easy. Holy cow. I mean, there are some pieces from the what is on the surface, like gesso or something. I don't know what that is. It feels like, but that's no problem. Okay, so here we go. This looks really cute, I think. So I have sewn around here with a running stitch several times, and I've tried to get that like a little bit wonky because I think that breaks this like regular rectangle a little bit, and I like that. And I have attached this label with 2 mini brads so that I now can glue that on here, and I've also prepared this little label here so that I can put that in there later, but I want to first glue that down. This is just a little leftover from another printable, but I thought that these colors match these colors really well. I will just make sure that the distance here is the same from the label to the edge here, so that the label is straight. I really like that, especially with this gold. That looks really, really interesting. And while this is drying, we can go on with this area here. So my idea is to take this, what I already have here, so this stitching and this little edge here from the jeans, and I want to put some birds on here because, as you already have seen in this journal, there are a lot of birds, and I want to have them here as well, cut out from this material. And for that, I'm going to use the same die cut set I've used for the birds in the inside of the journal. That is this set here, Silhouette Birds by Sizzix and Tim Holtz. The number is 665861, and I really love this set. This is one of my absolutely favorite sets. So if you want to have that, I will link that down below for you as well. And because of the fact that I have never cut out with a die cut from this canvas material, I want to do something. I want to back this with a little thicker piece of paper. So this is, I would say, approximately 200 GSM, and I will glue that on top, I mean the canvas on top of the paper like this, and then I will cut out several birds from here. I also have in mind that I later on want to glue the birds to the cover. And as you can see, the feet of the bird are relatively delicate, and I want to make sure that I have a good surface to glue. And I'm assuming that if I would cut it from the canvas without the paper, that the feet could get destroyed. I have made that experience with fabric, I mean thinner fabric, but it was not so easy. So I think with the paper it's going to be easier. Okay, so here we go. Here we have our little birds now, and I'm really, really happy how they turned out. There was absolutely no problem to cut them. If you wonder why this little guy looks a little bit strange, I was a little bit impatient when I took the material out from the die cut, so he lost one of his legs. But I think that can look really interesting and perhaps a little bit funny as well if he has only one leg. I mean, there are birds in this world having only one leg. I mean, yeah, so I think I want to use him as well. But I think that looks really, really cool. And I love how we can now get the context to the colors in the journal with having the colors of the printable here on the canvas material. That is really great. I thought I want to have something that is really like easy, yeah, so just the birds on the cover. But when I see this now, I'm not totally sure if I like that, or if I want to have something where they are sitting on, like a little, you know, something there. I've just torn off a piece from this here, so this is from the lace which was on this silk napkin, so that is this frame here and not the material itself. And I think with this we have the solution for this little problem. I think this looks really nice when this is here, and then the birds, I mean, this has to go then like so, the birds on top, then they have something to sit on, and I think it looks like, you know, that he has not so much going on, but I want it exactly like that, yeah, so that it's not so overloaded. But they have then something where they can sit on. The only problem, or the only question is this long enough so that it can go around the whole journal? Oh, yes. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Okay, so let's first glue this little guy here down. Okay, so let's see that this is attached really, really well with the glue, so that I later on won't have any problems when I glue the rest, I mean the birds, with the sticky embossing powder, because you know, I need a relatively flat surface to glue the rest. But please just use the glue that you like or have or works the best for you. This has no special reason that I'm doing this like I do it. I just want to go the way that works for me, and that is something that you should do as well, of course. Okay, so I'm putting some embossing ink here to the back side of the bird. Then some sticky embossing powder, just like this. And then I'm going to place him here. And I will take a piece of heavy material to put that underneath so that I can press my iron down really well. And I like this because this edge here makes it hard to glue the bird down. I mean, if this was paper, then with this edge that would be like a little problem. But with this canvas material, it's absolutely no problem, obviously, because it's more flexible than paper. So now I will go on with the other birds, and I will also take these and I will do exactly the same what I've just done. Put some sticky embossing powder to the back and then iron that on. And I will also do that for the spine and for the back, so that these little birdies are sitting like all around the cover. It's okay if things don't work like they were planned. Don't freak your freak. Not to say you do you. Oh my goodness. That are those situations where I think I want to freak out. Okay, so I can't say it doesn't work in general, but with this jeans material and this kind of paper, which I had behind the birds, behind the canvas material, it doesn't work, it comes off. I have tried to glue the second bird on, and then, I mean with my iron and the sticky embossing powder, and then I realized that the first one came off. What you can see here is just the rest of the paper. I have peeled it off carefully, and now I have this. And I can't go on with the method of trying it with the sticky embossing powder, obviously, because, yeah, I don't know why, but it doesn't work. So I have an alternative, and I have thought about that for, to be honest, a relatively short time, because I want to have an easy solution for this. And my solution is the following thing. I have this piece of jeans left over, and I'm hoping that this is, if I cut it here long enough, yeah, to go around the whole journal. So I will tear a piece of this material, which is like a strip that goes around here, that covers this here. I don't know what to do with this here. Perhaps I can just take my fingernail tool and get rid of that. I don't know. Perhaps I would use some other things to cover this little thing up later. But then I will glue the birds on top of this with regular glue and then glue this over here. And I think that is perhaps even more interesting than the original idea, because we have this here additionally to these edges here. I mean this here, and on this edge, and here on the bottom there's also this frayed edge, and I think that looks perhaps even more interesting than the other solution. Yeah. That's what I want to do now. So let's first bring this into the right size. So, I think, I mean, I have this here, and now I can, of course, play around with the shape of this, let's call that banderole, or yeah, is that a belly band then as well? I don't know. But this strip can be a little bit wonky as well, and I think I want to have it wonky, because then on the spine it looks more interesting as well. So let's try to get an angle here so that it covers this little shit there, and let's get perhaps a little slimmer here, yeah, so that it is straight here. Ja, das reißt natürlich gerade. I've just realized that when I have torn the jeans, that it of course tears like straight because of the thread of the material. Do you know what I mean? So I want to flip this edge here on the bottom and get the angle with this edge there. I don't know if that makes sense now, but I want to see this here as well. So I will take my iron, and then I will make this flat so that it's easier to glue that down. So I will now iron this while it lays on my cover so that I see what I'm doing here, and that I get this angle and the fold where I need it. Just like this. Let's flip this. I also want to make sure that I don't come too close to my label here with this frayed edge, because I think that looks totally weird. Okay, so let's turn it around. And what to do with this? Shall we perhaps, I mean, please look at this. That looks not so bad. I mean, first I wanted to place some of the birds to the back side of the cover as well. But now when I look at this, and when I look at this coincidence, that now here the left side of the fabric comes towards us, and here the jeans material is a little bit lighter as well. I really like this effect, and I really like how this looks now. Yeah, we will do it exactly like this. I will iron over this as well, and then I will glue it here like so, but without the birds. Haha. So then I will take some glue, and I will first glue this down, and then I will glue the birds on top. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so let's make sure that everything is nice and flat, and I'm trying to get this new edge here parallel to the edge that I already have there, so that it also looks like this white strip of lace is somehow, like, you know, tucked in between of these materials. Now this is a little bit longer than it was before. I have no idea why, but that doesn't matter. It has grown. So let's cut this off again. So these are the 3 birds I want to glue to the cover here now. Somehow I don't like this one with only 1 leg anymore. I think it looks somehow strange, so I will go with these 3 and I will just glue them down with glue now. And I've just decided that I want to have this little birdie here on the spine. I think it looks nicer when this theme with the bird goes around this edge and when it's not like ending here where the front cover ends. So this is nice, but we still have this little thing here from the glue and I really don't like that and I want to cover that up. So I have taken a piece of lace that came from this little thing here, so I've just cut one of these off, and then I have taken a piece of this silk napkin and went to my sewing machine to make this little like cluster so that I now can glue this on here, and I think that gives a nice little addition that makes it also a little bit more irregular, and I think this is my solution. And speaking about this regular look of the cover and breaking that, I think I want to add some white splatters with white acrylic paint. And you know, I've learned something with this cover, so I've already tried out what happens if I splatter white acrylic paint to this material. And you can see some of the splatters get really subtle. The acrylic paint seems to soak into the material really extremely. And there where the splatters are bigger and a little bit more like, you know, concentrated, I would say, not so much water, but more paint, they stay white. And I think it looks great if we have some of this here in this area where the birds are, and perhaps we can let that go around the whole cover. So I have prepared my acrylic paint here already, hoping that I can get a similar effect like I got on my test piece there. Fingers crossed. The whole time I thought, this is not my journal yet. It's somehow not my style. It's something is like really weird. And now it's getting into something where I can say, this is mine now. Do you know what I mean? That is really interesting and strange at the same time. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's go around the whole journal with this method of splattering. Okay, so that's it. That's my cover. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy. So here you can see the front in detail. We'll come a little bit closer so that you can enjoy these splatters as well. I think that turned out really, really nice. That looks nearly a little bit like fog in autumn. Normally you would perhaps think, oh, white splatters, that's snow, but with the colors of the birds, this is more like fog for me, and especially because of the blue fabric, you could think it's winter here, but for me, it isn't winter. Perhaps you want to leave a comment what season this symbolizes for you. That would be really interesting to know, because I think that is like really, you know, personal emotion, what you think about that. I like this. I really like this. So, and then this is the back. There's going to come a flip through of this journal very soon here on my channel. So if you want to see that, then please stay tuned. And I'm really hoping that I could show with this video and with my process of solving this problem that it's totally worth to try out different things and also try things that you have never done before and where you only think they can work, but you're not totally sure if they will work. Because with this, I mean, I hope that you can see that as well, but I have shown myself with this that I can come to an even more interesting result with those mistakes and with those things that don't work like I thought they will work. And that is great. I mean, I think that is also something where we can see that we can grow as an artist, that we can grow as a junk journaler. And I think that can, I don't want to say only happen, but that can also happen with those things that seem to be a catastrophe in the beginning, and then in the end you have something like this. So I hope you can make an experience like this by yourself and grow as a junk journaler and grow as an artist. I hope that you have a very great and creative day and that we will see the next time again. Bye bye.